Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you ever seen the Guns of Navarone?
Never.
It's about a mission to blow up the huge guns on the island of Navarone during World War II. 6 men are chosen to participate in the operation, each with his own special ability. They only have until an English destroyer passes by the island to complete their mission. Facing impossible odds, the 6 men have to sneak onto the island from a cliff on the southern shore.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to watch in my free time.
Maybe not for you, but the Major was absolutely crazy about it.
The Major?
He told me to tell you how great it was.
Tell him I'll go see it as soon as I get back to the States.
Do you want to tell him yourself?
No, let's save that for later. I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah.
Major, Sokolov's been hauled off.
Yes, they probably caught him trying to escape from the lab. Didn't Volgin say that they still needed to perform the final test?
Yeah.
Then Sokolov must have been taken back to the lab. Get to the lab and get Sokolov the hell out of there. Pass through that warehouse and you'll come out south of the lab. Make your way inside the warehouse. Watch out for enemy sentries. The assault rifle can punch through materials like wooden boards. That means you can fire on enemies standing on top of the pier from underneath. Keep that in mind.
Major, Eva isn't responding to the radio.
Right.
Right.
Snake, she's been talking to you from inside an enemy facility. She's not always going to be able to answer the radio. Don't assume something's wrong just because you're not getting a response. Don't worry about Eva. Stay focused on your mission.
Got it.
Treating serious wounds will require you to use additional medical items besides your knife and cigar. That's why it's always a good idea to carry as many medical items with you as possible. If you start to run out of medical items, find some more as soon as you can. The enemy should be carrying medical supplies as well. You can get them by holding up enemy soldiers and shaking down their bodies.
I see you're using the binoculars. Those are high-performance binoculars made especially for the military. They're completely waterproof and are filled with nitrogen gas to prevent lens fog. The eyepiece, objective lenses, and the prism have been coated to reduce glare. They ought to work plenty well, even in dark places. And they're even equipped with autofocus and zoom functions. Won't find a better pair of binoculars than that.
What are you, a binocular salesman?
Hey, I know a good product when I see one, that's all.
Huh.
Snake, that gate appears to be locked from the inside. There's no way for you to open it. The passage on the east side of the warehouse should take you inside. Try sneaking in from the east.
thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream. Take it up. I'm still in a dream. Snake eater.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Hey, Snake, have you seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
After a number of battleships mysteriously sink at sea, the American government investigates and finds that the culprit is this pacifistic Captain Nemo. The scene where the giant squid attacks Captain Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, is breathtaking. The movie was filmed in CinemaScope, and it was great to see it on the big screen.
A giant squid, huh?
What? Don't tell me you think it sounds tasty.
Good. You've infiltrated the warehouse. Pass through it and you'll come out south of the lab where Sokolov is being held. The exit should be on the north side of the top floor. Climb up the stairs and pass through the warehouse to the north. It'll be difficult to keep a low profile inside a building, even if you're wearing camouflage. Keep a constant watch on your surroundings. Stay alert and don't enter the enemy's line of sight. You may be able to fool the enemy by disguising yourself as an object commonly found inside buildings.
Looks like you're in a building. If people are living there, there's bound to be people food.
People food.
Soviet military rations. It beats eating raw snakes and mushrooms all the time, doesn't it?
I'm getting to like raw snake and mushroom.
You really are turning into an animal. When you get hurt, your body will heal itself naturally over time. However, the speed at which your life recovers depends on how much stamina you have at the time. The more stamina you have, the faster you'll recover. So if you want your wounds to heal quickly, you should eat something and replenish your stamina first.
So you've got your uniform and your face paint, but that alone isn't enough to make for good camouflage. Camouflage means blending in with nature. To make your disguise complete, you've got to keep a low profile and avoid overt movements. As long as you've got the uniform and face paint working for you, and you're lying flat keeping still, you won't have to worry about being spotted from a distance. On the flip side, dancing around your enemy in perfect camo is still a dead giveaway. So if the enemy's looking for you and he's getting too close for comfort, just lay low for the time being.
You got some instant noodles, huh?
Instant noodles?
Uh-huh. It was invented in Japan just recently. Add some hot water and it's ready to eat. It's cheap and can be stored for a long time. And besides, it's delicious. It's like a miracle food.
Wow.
Speaking of which,
Yeah,
are you going to eat that?
I was planning on it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Is there some reason I shouldn't?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
I was just going to say that if you weren't going to eat it, you should bring it back to me. I've always wanted to try some.
Whatever. Answer me.
Request to call off alert 141.45.
Speak.
Bastard!
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you ever seen The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms?
Nope.
It's about this monster that comes to life from deep within a glacier as a result of an H-bomb test in the Arctic. It crosses the ocean and emerges in New York. I especially like the scene where the monster attacks the lighthouse, and the one where it pops out of a valley in Manhattan and makes a big hole in a building. And the last scene on the burning roller coaster was simply incredible. And because I saw it in a drive-in theater, I actually felt like I was a part of the movie. It's funny, isn't it? How you can let yourself get absorbed into these things without thinking even when you know it's not real.
Distinguishing between what's real and what's not isn't always as simple as we think.
Well, don't get too absorbed in your mission. It's important to take a rest every now and then.
Snake, the lab where Sokolov is being held is to the north of that forest. Keep on heading north.
Snake, there should be fly agaric mushrooms growing in that area. The fly agaric is a relative of the death cap mushroom that grows only in that region. You'll find it growing on the ground, but it's poisonous, so if you pick one up, don't eat it. If you do eat one, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to take some antidote. The poisons found in the fly agaric include phallotoxins and amatoxins. It says here that when you eat it, the initial symptoms include nausea, stomach pain, and diarrhea. Finally, your liver and kidneys will break down into a sponge-like substance and you die.
Sounds like a horrible way to die.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So how does it taste?
Huh?
How does it...
Were you listening to me? The fly agaric is poisonous.
I heard you, but if I did eat it, it might taste good, right?
I give up.
There seem to be traps planted throughout that area, and they look a little primitive.
Yeah, but this is their territory. Why would they need this many traps here?
Maybe it's part of some kind of tactical research.
Tactical research?
Yeah. As I'm sure you know, the Soviet Union is leading a worldwide revolution among communist forces all over the globe. But a lot of the countries involved don't have the necessary funds and industrial technology, so they need tactics that are both effective and economical.
That's what they're researching?
Yeah. And traps are one of the best ways to do that. I'll bet that place is one of their testing grounds. Clappers, arrows, pendulums, all of these traps are set off by applying force to a rope. Don't touch the ropes and you'll be fine. Use rolling to get over them, or just crawl under them. Either way ought to work. If you do set off a trap and an arrow or a spiked pendulum comes flying your way, you can still dodge it by immediately diving out of the way. Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert.
Snake, watch out. It seems that forest is rigged with a number of traps. Most of the traps seem to be triggered by tripping a rope stretched across the ground. Don't just run around like a fool. Keep an eye on the ground and watch where you step. Some ropes may be placed so they're hidden in the vegetation. Be extra careful when you're cutting through the underbrush. If you use the directional buttons to move around stalking, you should be able to spot the traps before you step on them. Use stalking to move safely through suspicious-looking areas.
If you do set off a trap and an arrow or a spiked pendulum comes flying your way, you can still dodge it by immediately diving out of the way.
A fruit called the Russian false mango grows in that area. The Russian false mango is a mango-like fruit found only in Selino-Yarsk. The egg-shaped fruit is sweet and tangy with a pleasing aroma, just like a mango.
Yeah, it was pretty tasty.
See? Also, the seeds can be used to make a medicine that aids in digestion. It might come in handy if you ever have an upset stomach. Snake, I looked at your medical record. You've been exposed to an atomic blast?
Yeah, the Bravo shot. It was a hydrogen bomb test conducted at Bikini Atoll on March 1st, 1954. I was at the American base on Kwajalein in the Marshall Islands when the ashes of death started falling from the sky.
Any symptoms?
None. At least, not yet. But a lot of the guys who were in it with me are now suffering from thyroid cancer and leukemia. Some of them are dead already. One of these days. Anyway, I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah.
Snake, have you been caught in a snare trap?
Yeah,
If you don't get down from there soon, the enemy might spot you.
I know that.
Then why don't you get yourself down?
How am I supposed to do that?
It should be obvious. If you get caught in a snare trap, press the action button. That will allow you to cut the rope. Hurry and free yourself before the enemy comes around.